So, welcome to the Roofing Business Growth Circle podcast. This is the opportunity to share some great ideas for the roofers, tips and tricks on how they can get more visibility, how they can become more profitable with great ideas that is shared by my guests. Let me introduce you to our guest speaker, Andrew Darlow. He is a New Jersey-based photographer, author, and workflow specialist who empowers individuals and businesses to protect what matters most in their digital lives. From priceless photos and videos to mission-critical businesses, files, and social media accounts, he personally guides his clients step by step to keep their data safe and organized. And after learning public relations the hard way over the last 20 years, he now teaches those strategies, empowering others to share their stories confidently and be recognized for the impact they are making in the world. And this conversation today is about PR, about public relations. So, welcome, Andrew. And my first question is to ask you what happened in your career? What happened in what at what point in your businesses did you make that transformation, that pivot and say, "Oh my God, PR is a must"?
Okay, well, thank you so much, Jacques. We've known each other a while now, and it's just an honor to be able to chat with you. So the first time I really realized the power of PR and that I would need to learn it fast was when my first book was published. It's a 500-page book all about how to make better inkjet prints, and mainly people like photographers, but anyone who loves to get out, take pictures, or use photography in their business would consider picking up this book. And when it came out, even though it's a great publisher, I learned that unless you are J.K. Rowling or an author of that stature, you will be needing to do your own PR if you would like to sell more than just a handful of books. And so that was a lesson, and I learned all kinds of techniques for getting out there, doing contests, doing giveaways, and just meeting people and making sure they knew that the book was available.
Wow. In the world of contractors, in the world of roofers, home repair services, what do you believe? What is your opinion on the main challenges they may have to get out there, to be recognized, to be viewed?
I think they have a few challenges. One is making sure that they have great testimonials on their website or wherever someone is going to search for them, because often they don't have control over all of the places where reviews might apply for them. And particularly video testimonials, I believe, are the best way for anyone to stand out because they're difficult to fake. People really trust when they can see someone talking about how their roof was done and how the company went above and beyond to do the work well. And it takes a little practice to be able to film those with your customers. But if you have good quality video testimonials, and then sort of as a second level, audio testimonials, and a third level, just having text maybe with the client's name and a photograph, those are all outstanding. And before and after pictures in most of the trades is essential. So I would be very cognizant of getting good quality before and after photographs. I know it takes a little extra work, but it can make all the difference in your business.
Well, also, when you're posting on your website and you're posting on your Google business profile, I mean, the algorithms of Google really recognizes real pictures, not the stock stuff. And that makes a huge difference in regards to the score, they're going to get with their profiles. I like that in regards to challenges. What type of technology or solution is available out there to make this happen?
I'd say all you need is a internet connection and a web browser. and you can find really great ways to get more visibility. For example, one thing I teach all types of people in all types of trades, whether they're an author or whether they're a roofer, is to go to a website called listennotes.com because this is a text search for podcasts, and there are millions of podcasts out there. And even if you're just going there first to get information about other people in your industry, you can put in terms like roofer or roofing or anything related, you know your keywords best. And then you can also put some of the names, maybe of people you know, people who speak at trade shows. And if you have a great message, then why not contact that podcast and say, I am a local roofer in this town. We do this and we really stand out. And it would be an honor to have an opportunity to talk to your audience. That's just a couple things that you can do just by going to listennotes.com.
That's a valuable tool. Thank you. How do you
You're welcome.
implement that? Like once you decided, okay, I got my reviews, I found some podcasts. Now they have to create some content. How do they implement this?
I would
The
first
roofers.
listen. Yeah, I would listen to some shows like yours because you have roofers on all the time, Jacques, and just get a feeling for the content that you say, wow, that was really helpful. Like I can use that tomorrow on the job. I can teach that to the people who are there every day doing the work. So just keep all that in mind. And then from there, you can decide how can I actually get myself into these particular shows. So I think that's probably the best specific example I can give.
So that seems pretty easy, right?
Yes, it it takes a little time though to become media savvy.
We just when we were looking at content before this show, we were talking also about the power of social media. You mentioned the power of, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, and to do some postings, some blogs. What would be a blog for a roofer that they could put that can really allow them to be seen and to be recognized as the best in their area?
Sure. Well, what I see over and over again on sites like Nextdoor, which is a perfect example, or Facebook, is good quality before and afters, and some video, like just a short little video walkthrough, so that people can get a feel. So it's not just still imagery, and so that they can see it's you, and they can see, okay, these people really went out of their way, and here's the before and after. So whether it's Nextdoor or Facebook or LinkedIn, that's I know it's kind of like seems like table stakes, if you will, but it's not that common. And I spend a lot of time on Nextdoor, and I don't see that many service providers. And I don't think I've ever seen one roofer to do a before and after on Nextdoor, for example. Now, there's also many other sites, but let's talk about LinkedIn for a sec. If there are leaders in the roofing industry, this is one of the best pieces of advice. Go ahead and see if they'll connect with you. Say, oh, I noticed that you're posting a lot of interesting things about your products, and I use your product every day. So it'd be great to connect. And you don't have to be first level connected to post underneath. Let's say we have this brand new roofing nail, and you say, well, we've been using the new one. We find it much better than the old one. And you just put honest content. You don't make it an advertisement for yourself, but just people can see right away who you are and what company you work for. So putting yourself out there so that people can see who you are has a good long tail effect as people start searching for roofers in your area.
That's valuable. And how do you decide on content? What type, I mean, you mentioned before and after, and what would be the content like that, like they would just see this was the problem and this is how we resolved it. And there were different ways that we could have resolved it. We took this way instead of that way. Is that what you mean by content?
I think what people want to see is hey, this is Jim from whatever roofing. We're really proud of this latest build, and here's before and after. Then you just have someone do the edit, or you can do the video edit. It's not that difficult. And you show the before and after. And even better is, oh, and here's Bob and Sandy, the homeowners, and they just had a few words about it. And then they say something really great. And, thank you, Jim. And if they put your name in, it's even better because then they know it's actually you who did the work. So that I know there's a lot there, but almost any piece of that can be pulled out for content as you're building out your social media or your own website for that matter.
What do you believe will be the future trends in regards to PR visibility and everybody's dream is to be seen before the competitor?
Yes, definitely finding ways to get yourself into the LLMs, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude, because that's where so many of the searches are being done now. And supposedly advertising is coming to those, so I don't know what that's going to do to related to what I'm about to tell you. But anytime you can get content out there and make sure that your name and your town is in everything that you do, since it's almost 100% a localized business for many roofers, just make sure that you're putting information out there on things like Reddit. You may not know what Reddit is, but if I would recommend doing a little research, and there are ways to actually put your company up there. And I don't claim to be an expert in Reddit, but I use a lot of the content there because you find a lot of people just speaking their truth and giving their honest opinion, and the LLMs really like pulling that as a source.
Wow, that's valuable. Very valuable. Any other, so if I'm a roofer, I would say like, how do I, so you mentioned Reddit, but are there any other ways? Do I have to buy a service, buy a specialist to make sure that I'm visible on ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude or whatever? Or it's something I can do myself. Just Reddit is one way to do it myself.
I would say in many cases you can hire people to help you. Just realize it doesn't cost a huge amount of money to have some help, but I would always look for people who have a track record, meaning go ahead and search roofers in a town next to you and see where those searches are coming up. And then maybe if it's another state, for example, see who their web designer is. Often it's at the bottom of a web page. And who knows, that could become your person because it helps to see success. And when you follow success, it's much easier to be successful with anything. So there's always help out there. I'm not saying it's easy to find just the right people, but if you ask around and you see what other people are doing, you can often kind of reverse engineer and find some people to help, or at least see how it's done and find someone, even if you don't see that their name is on the bottom of a web page, you can just see the basic way in which people are presenting their content so that they're getting the PR. There's no reason why you can't get the PR in a similar way.
Yeah, I like your analogy. The way I look at things right now, I say, okay, a webmaster is like a cook in the kitchen, right? You
Mhm.
can have a cook that makes great soup and great chicken and great beef, and for desserts, they only know how to make chocolate pudding. Now, if you want to have high quality desserts, well, then you have to hire an expert, like for example, a French pastry person,
Mhm.
right? And the French pastry person doesn't know how to cook. They just do French pastry, right? So
Mhm.
my analogy is more like saying, got to make sure that you have the right person with the right skills, because everybody now is pretty much not necessarily educated in making websites,
Mhm.
but they make websites because they've been doing it for 5 or 10 years, and you get the really good ones. But what we've noticed is that a lot of people have good basic skills, but there's certain areas that they're not good at all, right? Like for example, doing a Google Business Profile is a skill by itself. You can give it to your 17-year-old son, but you're going to get
Mhm.
it's like Facebook ads, right? When you do ads, I mean, not
Mhm.
everybody knows how to do good ads. People say, "Oh, I do ads every week," and I spend like 2, 3 hours a week. You want to do a good profile, put Facebook ads. You may want to spend an hour, maybe 2 hours a day to make sure that you really, really have the right content that's going to generate the leads. So I always say that experts are very important in anywhere in our life, in our business lives, you know. So I like
Mhm.
that. That's awesome.
Yes, I totally agree.
Anything to add before we talk about your offer?
I'd say if you're doing something interesting, like supporting a local team, like maybe a baseball team, basketball team, or you're doing something in the community, you can go to a site called prlog.org. And for just about 25 or $30, you can create a press release that has two or three photographs and it looks fantastic. Obviously, you want it to be written professionally, which you can get help these days with the technology and Claude or ChatGPT. And even though it may not show up everywhere like the New York Times, you can then send people to the link on prlog.org. And it holds a lot more credibility than maybe just putting a little couple sentences on your website. So I highly recommend considering that. You can see plenty of examples if you go over to prlog.org. It's not the only PR site. It just happens to be one that I've used and that I find to be really, it looks like something from the 90s, but that's a good thing because people seem to, I think, trust it more because of the way it looks and it's not all flashy. So yeah, take a look at it and see
So
if you
you
can
put it
create. Yep.
so you put it as a link on your website or as a backlink?
A backlink on your website and also in your social media. And then hopefully it will be picked up by local media. But once it's up on there with the photographs, you can call your local newspaper and say, oh, by the way, we have a press release. It just got posted and here it is. And often they'll just pick it up and run with it. Or they'll say, oh, can we just do a quick interview? You look like a great local business. So definitely use whatever local media you have, whether it's online local media, local bloggers, local podcasters, or you're a big newspaper in your area.
Wow, that's very valuable. Great tips and tricks today, Andrew. You're the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What would be your offer to the roofers that would be listening to this podcast?
Okay, well, I just took a few of my favorite tips from a presentation that I did not too long ago. So I have both a PDF with the slides and I have a video, about 15 minutes. And you can get that in my vault with a few other things, including information about some of the ways in which I help people to back up their data. So if you just go to backup.fm, you'll see it right in the middle. Get my backup blueprint, and you'll be given a thank you page with access to my vault where you'll find the PR resource that I just mentioned.
And this link will be below the video, our video of this podcast, right below. We'll have that link so people can click and go there directly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It just proves one thing that when you listen to somebody like you, we can learn a lot. And there's a lot of stuff that we can do ourselves that's not that complicated. And you made it so
Mhm.
simple for us today, Andrew.
Well, thank you. Yes, it really comes from the heart. If you really believe in what you're doing and you want to serve your community, I think all these things just feed into that because that's what people really will gravitate to. And I feel so blessed to be able to come here and speak to you about helping roofers and also related trades. And who knows who else will be listening.
I always remember when I was a director with BNI and I met Ivan Meissner, and he was always saying the same thing: givers gain, givers gain, givers gain. The more you give, it always
Yes.
comes back. I guess it's something, it's like probably the law of the universe, but it does. It's about karma and energy, and things come back to you. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
how they do, but they always come back.
Yes, I totally agree.
And I want to say thank you so much. And we will invite you back for a different topic this time. And probably we'll talk about your backup services and how that can be a benefit to a roofer that's got important documents. And that could be our next conversation.
All right, that would be fun. Thank you, Jacques. I appreciate the invitation.
And I so appreciate your time, Andrew. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Okay, you too. Bye bye.